I look for you in magazines. I'm taking off my wedding ring.
How's that? You like that? Or lower?
No. Here, give it to him. Hello, star children, and welcome back to Deeply Unwell. Let this guided meditation take you to a place of inner peace and sanctitude.
My armpits are sweating.
Because you're nervy?
I'm nervous. Every time is like the first time.
It's not, though.
For me, every time is the first time, and you can't take that from me.
I can't take that. You're like...
I am going to take off my socks, though, because I think that'll help.
Well, who wears socks in bed?
Well, exactly.
I'm more concerned that there's no sunscreen on my face right now.
Do you want some?
No. Why do you have water on your chin?
I don't. I do.
No, because it's indirect, and also I'm gonna do like a little skin tutorial for the children while we're talking.
You are?
Of course.
Oh wow. Oh, is that why you have your makeup bag out?
My Kelly Michael.
Would you like to start with that? Kelly Michelle.
What's her name? Stephanie Johnson.
Oh.
Love
She only
Stephanie.
bought that because I bought one first. One thing that you guys don't know about this girl is you think she's
so mean.
You think she's this cool, she's this fashionista.
No one follows me anymore.
Style icons because you don't post.
No, it's because I have a stalker and I have to be private.
But she actually copies everything that I do. So yeah.
Well, it's okay because
obviously I had this first. I have a different version.
It's okay because I've literally set so many trends in my life that it's like,
it's
yeah,
true.
I can steal.
And you know what? Whatever they say, the imitation is the flattery. So
highest form.
Imitation is the flatterest. The flattest earth.
Hello, everyone. How are
Hi.
you? Sorry, it's been a long time. We're
I guess-
now
do we even
now we're
apologize
under
at this
contract.
point? Yeah, we're under a contract.
We're under a contract right now.
As of an hour ago, we signed.
As of an hour ago, we signed a sole contract.
Yeah, we went to Lucien. You guys know about Lucien, right?
What's that like to live deliciously?
And we had lunch and a couple drinks because I can't do this unless I've had a little liquid.
Unless she is intoxicated, which is so sad.
I'll never get used to this. I'll never get used to it.
Gotta get out of here. If you'll notice.
Bundles.
Hi, Bundles.
She's a girl with long hair.
Hi, Bundles.
Not only long, but full.
Long and full.
Oh, it looks so good.
Well, I have an entire 12-year-old Slavic orphan's entire scalp.
Yeah.
On my head.
Yeah. They really color matched you perfectly.
Yeah, they didn't even have to dye the extensions. Wow. This is like, well, I dyed my top hat. I dyed my top hat like an ash blonde, and then it kind of faded, but it like faded just in time for it to be like a perfect match.
Just perfect. Everyone put in the comments, do you think she has red hair or brown hair?
Because like sometimes my hair leans warm.
Sometimes
and
it's
like
red.
Sometimes it's red, sometimes it's brown.
Also, you've been trying to sell the lie that you are like a dark blonde, right? This is not a dark blonde. I can tell you that.
This is an ash blonde.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No,
this is what we call, in the cosmetology world, an ash blonde. Don't look at my pores.
People love to fight about like what's blonde on TikTok. That's like the.
I'm looking at you and I love you.
Oh, thanks. They love to fight about that, and I'm someone who believes in a true level 7 blonde. But you're darker than
so
that.
She knows what a level 7 is.
I do know because your natural is like a level 7 blonde.
Because I dyed this on level 6. And you know what? It's probably faded to a level 7.
I think you're darker than that. Leave in the comments if you think she's blonde.
Or you think I'm a fucking fire crotch.
Yeah, it's giving strawberry.
Don't say strawberry! Well, compared to you.
It's not strawberry, but and sometimes it looks kind of strawberry.
It's like your hair is like literally black. It's crazy.
It always looks black when we're recording, but
it's crazy. Wait, ready? Bundles. Two girls are ready to join a cult and kill your whole family. Ow. That really shook me up.
We used to really like have something going because you were like really blonde.
Well, I'm still. Hair.
And now we're nobody because you ruined it.
Now we're Jillian and Sally Owens. Except my hair's not red, you guys.
Oh, you just got scraped. at the chiropractor. Oh, he did you good.
Oh yeah, I went to the chiropractor.
Wait,
Okay.
why did it take you a full hour? It's never taken me a full hour.
Because he
at
had
the
like one other
chiropractor.
person that was like there, some woman also getting shockwave therapy. Everyone going to that.
Everyone's
place is
doing
getting
shockwave?
therapy.
Because
And guess what?
they told me not a lot of chiropractors have it because they don't want to spend $10,000 on the machine.
Well, you know what? Did the doctor tell you that?
Yeah.
Because the other
Is he
doctor
lying?
told me, he was like, my guess is that it's at least $15,000.
Well, he's guessing.
And you know what?
Well, I talked to the
to
founder
to the big
of
cheese.
the organization. Yeah, I talked to the Big Cheese. He's my
And you
chiropractor.
want to know what the big cheese said about you? That this is what I've been saving for the pod.
What?
The,
He
the
said
big
something
cheese
about
said
me?
about you when you left to the other doctor, who's my doctor. My doctor today said, yeah, the big cheese. He was like, your friend Jordan, right? She like came out. I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, you know, just like he was like,
She has
is that a
keratosis.
man or a woman? I don't know. Did he tell me you were a tranny?
No, but I put my hair up when I'm getting when I'm getting things done.
He totally and he was like, yeah, I'm like 180. I'm so different from the other doctor, and he is. And he was like,
He's saying, "Oh, just so you know, I'm not transphobic."
And he was like, oh yeah, because like I'm like familiar with like the gender spectrum and stuff. But the other doctor clocked you down. Boots.
Of course. I'm sorry, if you're a doctor whose specialty is the human skeleton, I would hope that you can tell that I'm male. And also I put my hair up when I'm getting adjusted and stuff, and it's like, soon as this comes
I
up,
would never know that you're a male from your skull because you are.
it's not the skull, it's
Your
the
skull
hairline.
is so small.
But also, you can have a
It's
small
so
skull
small.
with male traits.
I don't look at you and see, like, I'm looking at, no, look at me. I'm looking at that.
Well, my profile...
I'm looking at look at me. I'm looking at this girl right now. I'm seeing Xena Warrior Princess.
My profile is very
I'm
feminine,
not seeing.
but I'm no dummy. I know that, especially since I've like really, I think I got too thin, and you just can't do that as a trans woman. It's like, if you lose all the estrogenic fat, it's like, yeah, your skeleton is gonna give male. And that's where I feel like I'm right now, which brings me to my first topic I would like to talk about.
God,
I have a new addiction.
Okay, spit it.
I have been, I'm deeply ashamed of this. I've been ordering seafood boils regularly to watch while I'm watching Love Island.
To watch while you're watching Love
To
Island.
eat while I'm watching Love Island. And it's become, I think last night was my last night. I don't think I'm going to do it anymore. But I've been ordering.
How many nights was it?
It's happened 3 times this week.
3 in a week?
Yeah.
You're gonna die of mercury poisoning.
No, the crabs don't have mercury poisoning, but I am
You
really...
think crabs don't have mercury in them?
No. I am really puffy today because it's very high. Why are you putting on your makeup now?
Because I'm doing a tutorial.
Well, okay, well, you better tell them.
Well, I will once you finish talking about your crab shits.
Okay, well...
Shitting out crab legs. You
I've been
text me
waiting
at
to-
2 a.m.
I've been waiting to confess this to you, that I have been ordering crab legs. Like, it's like big crab legs, like half of a big...
Literally
what is it, a
half.
snow crab?
Yes. Like half
Half
of
of a
a
snow crab.
blue-skinned crab.
And then it comes with boiled potatoes and
Bowl
corn on the
potatoes.
cob. But I don't just go with the regular order. I add more corn on the cob, 3 pieces of corn on the cob, and 3 hard-boiled eggs. And I eat it all, except for I eat 1 boiled potato. If I'm being fair.
Problem.
That's why I'm confessing.
This is crazy.
This is what happens when I'm not on the shot.
Okay, well, I've never ever had a crab boil.
Well,
or
you know, I've
seafood
been
boil.
talking about doing this for so
Yeah,
long.
and I would love to.
Everyone blows me off when I say, ooh, that sounds so good. I'd love to. I've never done that before. I'd love to have a seafood boil. I keep seeing it on my For You page on TikTok. Everyone's having crab legs and stuff.
I feel like seeing like a crab boil mukbang on your TikTok is like so like 2021.
Oh no, it's happening right now.
Oh really?
And
Okay, well I'm not
well,
on
you know
that
what?
side.
It's actually more so about crawfish.
Crawdads.
Crawdaddies.
Crawdad.
That's what's happening, but I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm starting with the crab legs. But I'm not doing that anymore.
Well, those are too small.
But I was thinking it was like It was like, I was like, what if I became a mukbanger? Because you know what I want to do next? I want to get one of those cold smoked mackerel fishes.
Well, you know what? We found that,
Hi. Yeah, the Ukrainian market.
yes, there's a Ukrainian market in the West Village that we have
We've been one time.
that we freaked our shit on once. And they sell a collection, an assortment, an allotment, if you will, of smoked fishes, Japanese style.
You'd never see it anywhere else.
Style. Anywhere
I've never
else.
seen a whole mackerel anywhere until
And
we
that
went
is
there.
gorgeous.
Do you want to do that with me? I would love to buy a whole smoked mackerel
Yeah, it's
and
just
then
the
cut
thing-
it.
The thing is like, it's like so scary to me because it's like, well, okay, so like,
You claim that you're like a really adventurous food person.
bitch, I love uni, I love ikura, I'll try anything.
But the second I'm like, oh, I want to have a seafood boil or smoked mackerel.
No, I'm down. It's just like, that's a lot. Like my tummy might be like, hey.
It's not a. It's just you act like you've never had smoked fish. It's
Well,
also
but the thing is when I have locks, sometimes it's like, oh, I'm done, you know?
yeah. I mean, you don't have to eat a lot of it.
Well, I'm also
done as opposed
my
to
daddy
what?
my
Give
daddy
me more?
my daddy told me, oh, you need to eat all food on your plate.
How many times a week
And
do
he
you eat
gave me
Taco
an
Bell,
eating
bitch?
disorder. So, well, Taco Bell is different.
It's just
Taco
as
Bell
high
is
in
safe.
sodium. It's
Taco
not.
Bell is safe.
I wouldn't claim
It's a safe food.
that a smoked fish is actually much safer.
Well, you don't get to define my safe foods for me.
Fair. You got me there.
You got me there.
Okay, but I want to do a smoked mackerel.
We're
and
gonna
I
do
want
the other half
and I want to
later.
cut it. It's not as much meat as you think. You don't have to eat the whole fish. Also,
I'm telling you,
With the
yes, I'm
side-
locked in.
with the side of
Shush me.
I did. See, one of her ticks is
Yerby.
yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
I used to think it was a man, but it's apparently a woman with fiery red hair that's really frizzy.
Oh, I saw her. She looks just like me.
Okay, but the smoked mackerel with a side of boiled potatoes and another side of like white onions that have been
Cocktail
soaked in
onions.
vinegar and dill.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
I saw that Asian woman do that on TikTok.
Exactly. That's
Am I allowed to say that?
well, she was Asian, so yeah.
And she was on TikTok, and she was a woman.
So yeah, get ready, y'all, because I'm gonna become a mukbanger.
But banger.
I have to pee really bad.
Okay, a why stuff to talk about.
Perfect. You let them know what's going on.
Okay. Hi guys. So last time you saw us, I had rhabdomyolysis. Had a little bit of a scare the other day. Don't tell her this. I hope she's not listening, but don't tell her this. But I did cocaine with a client, and then I think I got like a rhabdo flare up. And I don't like to tell her that stuff.
Why are you
She really holds it
whispering?
against me? And so yeah, we went to Europe. And that was really, really cool and fun. We had a really fun time. We had, honestly, the first half of our trip cursed. But we went to Paris, and then we went to London, and then we went to London, and then we went to Paris, and then for 2 days it was miserable in Paris. And then we went to Rome, for those of you who are on cultured slang. And then we went to Palermo, and she
I didn't wash
fell
my
in
hands.
love. That's okay. It's okay because I was like, are you peeing on your hand?
Well, the thing that's different about us is that we sit down, so I don't touch my penis. And I'm also not a woman with a vagina that's like wiping in that way. I do wipe. Do you wipe?
Your peel?
Yeah.
When I can remember.
Interesting.
Okay, so we went to Palermo, Italy, and we went to and it was so wonderful and lovely. And then we went to this place called Scopello, which is like this other little province, like sea town in Sicily. And
It's a really small town.
I'm gonna tell you what's up. We rented a car, trials and tribulations. Because they didn't want to rent the car to me because they were like, oh, do you have an international driver's license? I said, no, bitch, I have an American driver's license. I'm an American citizen. I can drive anywhere I want to. And they were like, no. So then we had to rent a car from someone else. And then we go to our Airbnb, and she's like, booked this Airbnb, and she's like, I think that we should like spend our time in Scapello with like this guy in his house. And she was like, we should literally stay in a room on this guy's property. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever you say. I'll always do whatever you say. And then
and likewise.
so we get
Wait,
there.
would you agree that I'll always do what you say or no?
Yeah, well, that's why.
Are you contouring your nose?
Yeah, because it's like until I get the nose job, it's really crazy, you know.
Okay.
Sure. So we show up to this guy's house in Scapello, and immediately he like, I don't even think that we really like. You might have seen a photo of him before, but I didn't.
He had a photo, but I didn't really register it. Well, I will say his photo on his Airbnb is like not
like 10
attractive.
years ago? Oh.
No, it's just not attractive. So I didn't think anything of it.
Okay, well, when we rolled down the window and like he like let us in the gate, and we like said hi to him. We were like, I was like, oh, he's kind of cute.
Papa.
He's kind of cute.
He was like in a tight black t-shirt and like blue jeans. And he had big
White
arms.
shoes. Walked into the rooms, you know, you made your eyes blue.
He's in his 40s, kind of the perfect age for a man to be.
Right.
Anyway, continue.
And so we get to this man's house, and we check in and everything, and we are like, okay, well, you know, see you whenever. Leonardo. So we
Thank you for not saying his name.
Right. So we say, okay, we'll see you later, Leonardo.
Did you just rub your makeup into my
Would you
sheets?
rather me do that or say his name?
I can only have one or the other.
Yep. So we say, see you
$400
later. Just literally it's powder, just watch it.
Totally.
So we say, see you later, Leonardo. And so then we are like, oh, what should we do? So we are like, oh, let's go swimming. So we go down to this, like, we walk down to this little beach area, which is like right by his house.
Are you
And-
gonna tell a story or am I?
Well, you were like, tell the children.
Well, I didn't.
Okay, now you can take it from here.
Okay.
So we go swimming.
Well, okay. You're missing like. Do we really go? If I really go into it, this is gonna be so long. I don't know if it's gonna be boring.
That's why I'm kind of skimming.
Okay.
Would you prefer telling it?
It's like, yeah, but when you're skimming over the most romantic weekend of my life, it's like
I know, but
you're
it's
doing
like,
it
but
wrong.
it's like I'm not getting
Because you failed.
There was no romance yet.
You failed. Well, that's not true. From the very first moment we pulled up, you failed to mention that he said, "You girls, leave your luggage here. I bring into the house, and you drive." I'm Romanian for some reason. You drive down to the sea where the parking is, you know, because he lives on a beach.
That was such an important detail.
Well, immediately he was being very divine feminine, divine masculine vibes, you know?
Right.
He was like, let me carry your luggage for you. And he was looking like a snack. Anyways, yeah, we go to his little villa, which is basically on the water. And he tells us about the different beach options. And so we go to one beach and it's like really gorgeous. And then we go to check out the second beach. This is the first nice day in Sicily, allegedly. And
a nice day it was.
And we get down to the rocky bottom of the beach. And we look
We
up,
go to rock bottom.
and there's a man standing on top of all these rocks higher than us going, hello, come over here. This beach is so much nicer.
And we're like, who the fuck is that?
Who's that? And it was Papa.
We call him Papa.
Yeah.
It was Leonardo. So Leonardo beckons us to the sea. So we go over to where he is and we go down there and then we like get in the ocean with him. And this water is pee-pee warm.
Not really. No, it wasn't. It was cold.
I thought it was nice.
It was nice, but it wasn't warm.
It
enough.
was nice. The waters were crystal clear. It was kind of like Costa Rica, but a little bit colder. And before that, I like cut my knee on something. It was crazy. I was being crazy. And so we get into the
You
water
were being
with this
like really
guy.
autistic.
I get into because I'm not a strong swimmer. She's like
not
really
a strong
good,
swimmer.
She's a
and
really
I'm
strong
amazing.
swimmer. So we're like hanging out with this guy, and like Jordan's like swimming out like past
Jordan?
the.
You've never called me that before.
I now call you Jordan sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah.
To other
Especially
people?
with others, yeah.
Because I'm not piggy anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm honoring you.
Oh, that's really sweet.
So Jordan swims out to Bing Bong, and I'm like, look at her go, she's a mermaid. I was like, I'm just a baby. And he's like, you are a baby. And as soon as I tell him that, I become the baby archetype.
You are a baby.
You are a baby. And so he's like, she's great, she's whatever. And then I'm swimming for like 5 minutes, and it's like, oh, I just hate, I need to go lay down.
This water's crazy.
Is this water sanitary? So then I literally go to like just chill on the beach and like let them talk, whatever. They're just talking. They're literally just talking.
I'm showing off my best
And they're
friend
talking
news.
for like 15 minutes. About what? I don't know. I'm gonna go pee.
We were talking about just life.
Tell them what you're talking about.
Okay. Boyfriend, I'm nervous. The thing about sharing this story is I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to block him.
He'll never know.
Well, he follows me on Instagram, but I did hide my story from him. Things have kind of fallen off with us, I guess, anyway. Anyway, so we're gonna call him Mario. How about that?
Leonardo.
Oh, Leonardo? Okay. So, Leonardo is like really enchanted by my swimming skills.
Because.
Just like so stupid. But I'm a really good swimmer, and Corinne's a terrible swimmer, and so it was for him it was love at first sight because he's a free diver. He hunts for his own fish and everything, and he's a underwater archaeologist. Is that what it's called? Yeah, he like discovers like ancient ruins in the water and shit. But yeah, while Corinne was up on the beach, what are we calling him?
Leonardo, like the Ninja
of
Turtle.
course. Leonardo and I
Okay.
like swam together and then kind of sat up on the shore in the water. And he just started telling me about his life, and
They just really had like a romantic tryst, right? So ready? So that happens, and then we like go do something, I don't know. What matters is that I'm literally like later in the day, we're all hanging out, whatever, and I'm like, oh, I sense that there's like a connection between these two, so I'm gonna give them their space. I go to bed alone that night. I literally, and I text her and I call her, and I'm like, I keep texting her and
I left
calling
my
her,
phone in the room.
and I keep hearing a vibration every single time after I text you and call you for like 20 times, and then finally I'm like, oh, maybe that's her phone.
Yeah. Well, because I was not.
And I was like, are you alive, bitch? We're like literally in fucking Sicily in some random guy's home, and I cannot reach you, and you're
Who doesn't
gone.
know we're trans?
Who doesn't know that we're trans? And she comes in the morning. I'm like, okay, they must have hooked up or something. She comes in the morning and she tells me, we fucked. And I said, what did you do? She said, we did everything.
Okay, but let me tell them what happened.
Well, this is why I'm here to speed stuff up.
No, totally. You're so good. I thought that we were all just gonna have like a quick little dessert. Cause he's kind of annoying because he's a yapper and he'll just talk.
He's a very philosophical man.
He's extremely philosophical and he loves to yap. And so I thought we were all just gonna have dessert, but then you were like, I'm going to bed, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, I'll come with you, and you're like, no. And then I keep wanting to say his name, Antonio or whatever, Leonardo, Mario, wanted me to stay and talk to him more. And then the other guests that were staying at the Airbnb
Bitches.
came home. And so he was like, do you want to go up on my roof and we can watch the sunset? Of course you do. So we go up onto his roof and watch the sunset. And we're just having like very deep, intimate conversation. We haven't crossed any lines yet because at lunch, he made sure to tell us that he doesn't sleep with his guests because The thing about
Drew a line in the
Scopello,
sand, in the rocky sands of
Yes.
Scopello.
the thing about having a business in Scopello is the only export they have is tourism. So if you're not
Italy, really.
Yeah, if you're not working in tourism, then you have no business. So
You're not doing drag.
he's very protective of his business. He's had it for like 10 years and he's like, I can't cross that line. Why he decided to tell us that at lunch, I don't know. Well,
Because he wanted to cross the line.
because he wanted to fuck. But anyway, he was like, I have to go feed my cats. And he leaves me for a minute sitting on the ledge of his roof. And then he comes back and walks up behind me and puts his arms around my waist. And is just like whispering in my ear, like, this has been the most magnificent day. I'm so happy we met each other. I feel like I've known you for a very long time. And I see this part of you that I see in myself. And
Why are
I
you
can
Mexican?
tell. Why am I Mexican? What is that?
I see this part of you, crazy.
What does an Italian man sound like?
And I see that this part of you,
I see this part of you.
and you are looking so beautiful. Anyway, and so
Let me finish. This is the.
I'm just saying anyway. So
I see this girl who
This
was
little
probably
girl.
very sad when she was a little girl. And of course I'm crying. Of course I'm crying while he's saying this to me. He's love bombing me. Italians invented love bombing. And then he sits down next to me and he says, I've not had this experience in a very long time. I'm just gonna be Mexican, you guys, okay? Because I can't help it.
go for it.
And he says, but I cannot do anything to you, okay? Because I have this rule. And he says, but I will not stop you.
If you decide to do something to me,
And so I do this to him. I go, we're facing each other. And I kiss him
I'm
on
turned
his...
on. I felt you
No,
warm.
you have no idea. It was the most sensual, like,
I felt you
I kissed him on his neck, on his cheek, on his forehead, on his eye, and then
On his eye.
yeah, and then I started. Well, I learned that from Amelie, of course.
Yeah.
And then I, of course, kissed him on the lips,
And then he took you to Pound Town.
and we made out on the roof
And then you slept with him that night.
until it was dark. And then he says, "Can I show you my home?" I said, "Of course." By the way, while we're kissing on the roof, I'm rock hard.
Boner.
And like I'm
Boner
straddling him, like my legs are over him, like I'm pressed up
hard
against
little
him.
dog cock pressed into this
Little dog
Italian
cock.
man's chest.
So I'm like, surely he knows, but I'm also terrified because I'm like, we're in rural Sicily, right?
Yeah.
Like,
But he's an intellectual.
it's basically like being in the
boonies.
Appalachians, you know?
Truly.
So I was like, he did mention that he's conservative. It's like, I don't know what to do. I wasn't expecting this to happen at all. And then he takes me into his part of the house, and he like goes and gets his bedroom set up, which is really cute. He has like just like sailor decor. And
His sheets.
by the way, I'm still hard this whole time in the John Patrick slip, so I'm just like, I have my hand over me.
Over her moon's over her hammy.
And he comes back out, and I say, I have to tell you something. What? What is it?
What is the secret possibly attain?
What is it, my love? I don't know if you know this or not. I couldn't tell if you knew.
But I'm a man.
I wasn't expecting any of this to happen. What is this? I'm trans. You're a tranny? Yes. I'm a trans woman. Oh my god, no. You are lying. This is joke? No. I'm serious. I didn't know if you could tell or not, and I wasn't
Yeah, there's so
planning
many
on this.
teasers jerking.
Yeah. And I said, it's okay. We don't have to do anything. I wasn't even planning on this. And he goes,
Please don't hurt me.
wait. He's holding me the whole time this is happening. We're like in each other's embrace, standing. And he goes, just give me one moment, okay? I'm just processing because you have understand this is rural Sicily. This has never happened before. I've never even thought of this before. But okay, you know what? Today I fall in love with you. But I'm not in love with you because of you are so beautiful, but because of your heart. And because of this, I want to experience all of you. I'm sobbing. But he does also say some icky things that are like, okay, so we cannot, get married and have children, but this is okay.
Had to knock you down if you
Yeah,
want
he literally had to immediately be like, you're a secret.
You're a man.
You're gonna be my dirty little secret. He said, this would be a big trauma for my mother, and this is rural Sicily. Nobody can ever know, because if we date, even if for like 10 years, and then we break up, no woman will ever date me again. I will be ruined. I'm like,
okay. That makes me feel really good.
I'm not turned on anymore. But I'm like not letting that part of my brain take over, because I'm like, no, just like
I'm
pretend
in Italy.
This is like the most romantic thing that's ever happened. Oh my god, that's my fucking husband. So he basically is just like, I just want to experience you sexually. But I will say I am proud of myself, because I did stand up for myself a little bit and say, like, I don't want to just be an experiment for you. He said, no, this is not like that. I just want to have this experience with you. I'm like, okay, fine.
So they do everything.
We do everything.
Everything.
He takes me to the bedroom, and
they do beep everything.
I fuck him. He fucks
That's
me.
everything, honey.
They want to know. He swallows my load. It's okay. I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, you are.
Which was really shocking, because he did it 3 or 4 times in 2 days. A man who's never even thought about being with a tranny said, yeah, I'm gonna get that fucking cum.
They have a torrid affair for 2 days, for 48 hours.
Yeah.
And he takes us to like this beautiful. Okay, well, want to hear my point of view?
Yeah.
Literally.
What happens?
So I called him Papa, because I was like, I'm baby, because I am.
And he
baby.
hated it.
And he hated that.
But I think he liked it.
But by the end, he loved it. But so we were talking something. We were went to lunch, and this icky guy was hitting on me in the village, and he's like, oh, I know that guy. That is Vincenzo or whatever. And he was like, well, do you have the power? In the relationship? Are you the one with the cock? And I was like, no. And then and then he was like, okay, I'm going to take you girls, later that night or something. He's like, I'm going to take you girls to this village, ancient ruins. So we drive there, and I'm singing a Lana song or something, and I'm like, ah! And he's like, oh, now I know you do not have a cock.
Yeah.
And I was like, I had to tell Peg. I said, he knows.
But he didn't actually.
I know, but I was like,
because he asked me.
But also, I was like, that really turned me off on him, and I was like, why is he making all these weird comments?
Yeah.
And so Leonardo really, I felt didn't like me, but then by the end kind of did like me. But on the second
He's
day,
kind of a nagger.
or on a nagger. Make sure that you're really enunciating.
I think I was clear.
Yeah, he likes to nag. And so that first night they slept together. The next morning, she comes into the bed. She's like, we did everything, whatever. And then he was like, and then you told me he was like, can we have a threesome?
Oh,
and I was like, oh wait, he hates me. What? And he's my papa.
Yeah.
He had become my dad figure by that in 24 hours. And then
he was like, is she tranny too? I said, yeah. He said, oh, well, maybe we can do a threesome. I said, what makes you think that I want to have a threesome with my best friend?
Just because she is tranny.
You have to understand, this
else.
Is a crazy fantasy for me. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, a fantasy that I just inserted in your brain about 24 hours ago.
I'm a
12 hours ago.
person.
So anyway, she has this torrid affair with this man. It's very, very sad when we leave. He cries, she cries, etc. We have a beautiful time in Sicily. They haven't really spoken
The
much
sex was bad,
since,
though.
and the sex was
I
really bad
would've-
because he has a weird skin disorder.
I would have stayed and possibly married this
You
man.
guys wouldn't be watching this right now because she would be there.
He wanted me to stay, and I maybe would have stayed, but the sex was not good because he was, of course, inexperienced and, like, I think kind of nervous, and he couldn't stay really hard, but he also has... I feel bad. What if he sees this?
We won't get into details. He had a weird skin condition. They didn't have great sex. Whatever. So, whatever. She has a torrid affair, falls in love with this guy. He falls in love with her, but a little bit more than she falls in love with him.
Which is the way it's
sex
supposed
isn't
to
that
be.
great. It's the way it's supposed to be. We had a beautiful time in Sicily, and then we go back to Paris, have a wonderful, wonderful time, and then we come to the realization, oh, we need to live in Paris.
Yeah. Well, we can't live here. Well, we can't date here.
No, our husbands are not in America.
Yeah. After this experience, it was truly the most romantic experience of my life. I realized, well, I'm not someone who dates a lot, but I've never experienced romance in my life. In my life.
Well,
no
yeah.
man that I've ever dated has ever done anything romantic.
The closest you've ever gotten to romance is being...
Alec, you have to cut that out.
Okay.
What is wrong with you?
Anyway, we're going to North Dakota to see her family on July 4th, and that's going to be fun. Because we are going to show up in our little bikinis and our little spray tans. And I'm going to actually fuck one of your cousins.
None of my cousins are going to be there. The one that you want to fuck doesn't live there.
Is it too late to cancel my flight? No, it's fine. We're gonna go to
maybe
Minnesota.
fuck one of my brother's friends. He
I'm
only
gonna
has one
fuck one of your
friend.
brothers.
You can fuck my little brother.
You, I'm gonna fuck the older one. Just kidding. I'd rather die.
He's married.
Yeah, well, that's never changed anyone's mind.
Yeah.
You're stuck in Leonardo energy.
No, I'm stuck in you.
Okay, well, that's like, we're not gonna get into that.
You can't casually drop that on a podcast.
Anyway.
Fucking psycho.
I just be saying stuff. Okay, so yeah, a lot of things have really changed. A lot of things are crazy.
Anyway,
Our husbands are not in America.
Europe is
They're
really
in
fun,
Europe.
and
Europe
now
is so much fun.
I finally got the travel bug, and we've decided we're only gonna date when we travel.
And we're going to Mexico
Or at
in
least I
August,
decided
and
that.
then we're going to Japan in the fall.
Yeah.
And we're taking a trip every 2.5 months.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't been talking to Antonio.
Leonardo.
It's all the same.
Continuity.
Yeah. I think he got to this point where he was like, I'm only going to talk to her if she reaches out, and I don't, because I'm like, I actually don't really have much to say to a 43-year-old Sicilian man.
Yeah, so that's kind of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, in other words, we've been back in New York for a while. We're back in our workflow, hustling.
Are you happy?
That's a crazy question.
Is it?
I'm not. Okay, I had this talk with my therapist. This is a deeper episode it's turning into.
Well, what do you want to just go through? Like, I did this and then that, or is it like you want to get into shit?
Right. Well, okay, so I stopped Lamictal.
Lamictal.
I stopped taking Lamictal, which is a mood regulator, because I'm
hot.
a BPD art hoe and a borderline princess disorder. Beautiful princess disorder, sorry. And I was on that for like a year, and I decided to stop because it was making my like recall for like words really bad, and I like couldn't remember like certain words for things. And so my psychiatrist took me off of that. And I'm feeling normal. I'm feeling really regulated. But I talked to my psychiatrist and I was like, oh, I'm not really like in the mood because okay, so these are my like BPD like acts of self-harm for me aren't like, oh, I'm gonna cut myself. Not that that's like, if you do cut, like you should go get help.
If you
like,
do, good
it's
for
really,
you.
it's
That's
really
okay.
bad and that's terrible and like that's something that a lot of BPD people do, but that doesn't happen to be mine. Mine is I fuck, I take loads,
Yeah.
I spend a lot of money.
Uh-huh.
What's the other one?
I don't know.
Anyways, oh,
Drink?
well, so I need to like drink and I need to like do this crack pipe and stuff so that I like have dopamine in my brain.
You,
I'm really
you
aged.
require a lot of stimulation.
Yeah, I require a lot of stimulation. But right now I'm feeling like very regulated and I was talking to my psychiatrist and I was like, I don't want to fuck like strange men anymore. Not for free. Like I literally just want a boyfriend.
Which is huge.
Which is huge because like the other night I fucked this guy who I fucked two guys that looked like Aladdin, okay? Not at the same time.
In one night?
No, it spread across a few days. I fucked one boy who looked like Aladdin and
Gorgeous.
couldn't come.
He couldn't come or you?
I couldn't come. I don't think he did either. And then I fucked another.
Really?
And then I fucked another Aladdin. And they were both so beautiful and
Nobody
passionate
came.
lovers. No one came. And I said, I don't know. I think I need a connection with someone.
This is becoming a bigger issue, I'm noticing.
I know.
Just with people generally.
I
No one
know.
comes
I'm
anymore.
not coming. And the only reason I have come in the past few days is because I had a really hot client who was like, he had like an ex-military vibe and he was a bottom, but he had like a beautiful body. And like I put his foot in my mouth and I was like,
That's
oh,
the
yeah,
only
I'm
way.
gonna
Oh,
come.
but he cupped your balls.
No, of course not.
That was someone else.
No, but
Someone else
I
cupped
thought
your balls
the
and made
only
you
way.
come.
I thought the only way that I could come is to have a guy fuck me and cut my balls. But
That's what makes you come.
but another guy, yeah, but the second Aladdin, the first Aladdin I topped, the second Aladdin I bottomed for, and he rubbed my oil lamp and nothing came out.
Oh, totally dry?
I didn't come.
Oh, okay.
It's a euphemism.
Well,
And so, but I told my psychiatrist, I was like, I feel very regulated and I feel like I'm not getting off on like anything really. It's not like giving me like those like huge spikes. And she was like, oh, that's really good. And I was like, okay, but
at what cost?
But I was like, at what cost? I was like, I'm fucking bored.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm just like really bored. And she's like, lean into that. Find out who you are now that you don't have these big spikes.
Yes.
And so I've literally just been, and should have written this on the notes, I've just been nesting. I've just been at home.
You're really in your like home
I'm in my
renovation
home
vibes.
era and I just posted an ad again and it works really good, but I'm just like, well, now we get into a world topic. I'm just like, I'm at this weird point in my life where I'm like, do I try and have like a career or like passions that are like have longevity that like are withstanding, or is the Samson option going to be invoked?
Because it's only one or the other.
I'm going to tell you all about the Samson option. I'm going to shake things up in here.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about the
Okay.
Okay, so
Just really plowing through.
I mean, we've already been recording for 45 minutes.
That's okay. We make one episode
Yeah.
every 3 months.
Lamictal. So, as you know, we're on the brink of World War III. Fear-mongering. It's here. It's here. Israel dropping bombs. Iran dropping bombs. Literally bombing the shit out of each other. So, I follow this guy. I'm friends with him on Facebook, and he has like intel into like Middle Eastern news information, and he's constantly like updating his like status on Facebook, that's a red flag. But he's always like breaking news, and
Aaron?
what's a man?
His name is Aaron?
I don't know.
On TikTok?
No, it's this guy's on Facebook.
Get off Facebook.
I know.
Why are
But he
you-
seems like he has like a lot of intel.
Oh.
So he literally is like, Iran has leaked an Israeli document about the Samson option, about sites, cities around the world that are nuclear targets. And I was like, oh, what's the Samson option? So I look this shit up and I'm like, okay, this has to be not real. The Samson option is an Israeli defense policy that exists so that in case of like an existential threat against Israel, where Israel could possibly not exist, Israel will destroy the world. And you think,
with nuclear.
yes, and you think, that's crazy. They would never do that.
Sure they would.
Israel is literally, it's on a map is this
Tiny,
big.
tiny.
The world if the screen is the world, Israel is about this big, and it's right here.
A nation that's only existed for like less than a century is like, yeah, I'll blow up the whole fucking world.
Their plan is literally, they have like at least, I think they have 200 to 400 like nuclear weapons, and if they are facing a threat of like extinction, like being wiped off the planet, which is like very well could be like a thing given like their fucking genocidal behavior against Palestinians and the rest of the world being like China, fucking North Korea, Russia, Pakistan, like all the Iran, like all the Middle Eastern countries are like, you need to stop doing, you're committing a genocide against a people. Then they could very well be wiped off the planet. But if they do, they are not going to go out without they're strapping a suicide bomb to their fucking chest proverbially. And they're going to set off all of their nuclear weapons and their entire... Okay, so if this is like a map of the world, like here we have the US, and then we have like South America, and then we have like Europe, Asia, Russia, whatever, Africa, you get the picture. So Israel's nuclear, and this is for the YouTube watchers, not the listeners, but basically everything above like Chile and like a part of Australia here is completely within Israel's nuclear map of like their ballistic impact with nukes. And so yesterday I texted Hannah.
You did?
I did. I texted her. I was like, hey, the girls aren't really taking this seriously. I'm having a panic attack about the Samson option. Basically, the Samson option is... Okay, so Samson in the Bible was literally like, he was the guy who like had the really like pretty long hair, and then it got like cut and lost. Sun came back to bed, show me die, I was being fun, came back to bed.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm Samson right now, coming back to bed. So he's the guy that gets his hair cut, right? And then so the Philistines were like, oh no, we're gonna take you down, Samson. So Samson destroys this temple and it comes crashing down on him and his enemies. So they've taken this as their biblical right, R-I-T-E, to be like, okay, well, this is God's country.
If I'm going down, you're going down with me.
Yes. So if we say for instance, like America doesn't help them, or like other countries, whatever, they have nuclear targets on Berlin, Moscow, Paris, New York, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, Tehran, Baghdad, and Colorado Springs. Let it be. Let it be.
It's not that I don't take it seriously. I'm just like, what is the fucking point in stressing out about that?
Well, I know, but it's just like, last night I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. All my friends are gonna die. My mom's gonna die. Tooth is gonna die. Anyone, like,
yeah.
what? And it's like, if they destroy the world, the whole world's going to die. And I was like, this is the only planet that we know that harbors life.
No,
in the
Earth will recover. The Earth will be fine. It will.
Well,
be
you know
different,
that aliens are going to intervene as they have before.
as she believes. Yes.
That was them.
Yes.
I do.
She's really on her conspiracy shit.
No, I'm not. I
Yes,
believe
you
that
are.
the aliens are here and that they share the planet with us, and that they will stop and that they have stopped nuclear attacks before in the past.
Yeah.
And Israel has denied plausible deniability before about how many nukes they have. They've never confirmed nor denied, and they're just like, oh no, we don't talk about it. We don't have nukes. It's okay. It's okay.
Nobody
But
talks about
and
that.
it's like they're testing in the Indian Ocean like all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Like they have submarines and shit and like fucking like the Bermuda Triangle and shit. Fact check that. They have submarines and shit all around the
This
world.
is the thing, as I have just really reached the point where I'm like, I take everything with a grain of salt because there is so much misinformation.
Okay, I do too, but like the Samsonite aliens are gonna intervene as they have before.
As she believes, yes.
That was them. Israel at the time,
Yes,
and
yeah.
Nixon was like, no, we'll help you, and so they didn't. But that's something that they always keep in their fucking back pocket. And like a year
Smart
ago,
girls.
Netanyahu was like, if we fall, and we won't fall, but if
You
Israel
will all
falls,
feel the pain.
many will fall with us. That is terrifying, please.
And this would only ever happen because of men. If women were in charge, none of this would ever fucking happen.
So I literally had a panic attack, and I texted Hannah. I was like, the girls are not, they're like, whether they believe this or not, they're not freaking out like I am, and I'm freaking out because I'm freaking out. I need someone to talk to. She was like, I'm eating a chicken tender, bitch.
Is that what she said?
She sent me a picture of a chicken tender. She's like, I'm here right now. I was like, okay, well, the world's not ending. Enjoy your chicken tender.
Of all things to be stressed about, I'm just like, nuclear war.
It's so scary.
It is, but it's such a hypothetical. It's like,
not, babe. We are in World War III now.
no, we're not.
Yes, we are.
We're in the precipice.
We're
Hey, watch what you do with your brainwaves, babe. If you say we're in World War
keeping it up
II,
here.
that will be the reality, okay?
Yeah. Kamala Harris won the election.
There's a lot of tensions, for sure, and like we're on the precipice of
We're on
World
the
War
precipice.
III.
Anyway, so in order to distract myself.
The last thing I'm actually worried about is nuclear war, because worst case scenario, if that does happen, we're all gonna die so fast, and it's like.
But the thing is, like, many of us won't. Like, in like the rest of the world who aren't in major cities, like nuclear winter.
Yeah, and then the world will finally heal. Because this isn't working, you guys.
No.
This is not fucking
It's not sustainable.
working. Humanity is not learning from its mistakes.
1 second, I'm gonna put a concealer on my face. Those scars keep going.
I've reached the point where I'm just like, you know what? We are hopeless. We don't want to be good. People are going to do what they're going to do.
They're gonna zoo what they're gonna zoo.
Blow it all up.
That's what everyone on Twitter's saying. I'm like, you guys, don't say that.
Why?
It's scary.
You're very, very afraid of death.
No, I'm not afraid of death for me.
That's
I'm not.
true. Then
Well,
why are you?
yeah. Do you want me to not bonk you?
Kinda. Ah, my skull's really thin.
It is thick but small. I'm more concerned about the environment, and I'm concerned about the planet.
I'm not concerned about the environment because.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be.
Well, obviously, like, most life on Earth will die. But that's not the first time it's happened.
Wow.
66 million years ago, I don't remember the percentage, that died with the dinosaurs, but it's like most life on Earth died. Life will prevail. And I think we could use a fucking reset, to be honest. Like,
yeah, anyway, it's really scary.
yeah. And you know what? Your fear is valid. And I don't mean to
And that's what
diminish
Hanny
that.
said to me. She said, your fear is valid.
It's, of course, it's like totally normal to be afraid of that. I'm on my last life cycle, so I don't know.
Right, and it's like,
you.
okay, so my mom is a very intuitive, clairvoyant
They know.
woman.
You've told them.
Okay. Oh yeah. So she's on her last life that I go, but I'm not. So it's like, what do you mean I can't
Yeah,
meet
death
my
is,
best
like, so
friend
scary.
and source yet?
Yeah.
What do you mean I still have one after this?
Yeah.
But the thing is that the way that life cycles work, and like past lives and lifetimes and whatever, is like, oh, what happens when you have a soul contract with the universe that says like, oh, this isn't my last life. I still have like 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 more to go. where do we go right now
She's saying
when
everything.
when the world ends and there's not a physical human body or a
Well-
life source, on an earthling life source that for the EU to come into,
That's what you're
you
worried about?
become an alien species. You become some other form of life. You in a different lifetime where I won't.
I think there are infinite possibilities for where our spirit can go.
I love talking about this stuff.
I'm just like, I'm not to say that I'm not worried about it, because I've actually been feeling deeply impacted by everything that's happening and all the
Right.
despair. It's like really got me super depressed, and it's hard to think about like anything. Like
We're really living up to our podcast name.
Why? Well, the world is deeply unwell right now, and I'm in this like really confusing place where I'm like, I'm feeling this spiritual push to do something more with my life.
And you're about to
what
get a
I'm doing
hemorrhoid
now.
from that.
I've never had one, and I never will. So don't
No,
put
a
that curse
spiritual
on me.
hemorrhoid.
No, I'm not.
It's a spiritual push.
Oh, wow.
And unless you get that turd out,
yeah,
you're gonna get a
but
hemorrhoid.
then it's like, does it matter?
I know, that's the point I'm at. I'm like, does it matter if the world is literally on fire?
But wouldn't you rather die feeling like
Yeah,
you
and so I
died,
am
like,
gonna still try. I'm gonna die trying.
yeah. You just have to know what you're trying for, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say my list of things that I think are that I like,
You're gonna say your list of things that you like now? Okay.
because we're gonna talk about Love Island, and I want like a nicer transition because all this stuff is really scary, you guys.
Yeah, well, we're all scared.
Well, I think I wrote some of these down that I didn't say. Okay. Why don't restaurants always provide you with utensils and a napkin with every delivery order?
Oh,
I'm pissed.
well, historically, Indian restaurants will not give you utensils because
Why
they
the fuck
say,
not?
because we eat it with our hands, they say.
Oh, please. I'm
And they
talking
say-
about
and they
Aunt
say-
Jemima's
and they say you should
Gertrude
too.
Stein
In
diner.
Manhattan, I do mostly get utensils delivered. Though that's
But
not
sometimes they
something I
don't
should
give you a
admit
fucking
to.
fork, and it's like, well, how the fuck do you want me to eat this beef stroganoff?
Right. What if I were on site at my work?
Literally, what if I'm
I don't-
taking
and I don't
loads in a
have this-
hotel room
yeah.
for money?
Right. Yep. It's something to get upset
Does it
about.
really matter if the windows are open or closed when the plane takes off and lands? Seems like theater to me.
Why is that?
Why do they make you close the fucking and open your window? Go ahead and open that
So
for
you
me.
don't get too scared.
I think it's well. That's what I'm thinking. It's got to be theater. It can impact like the way that the ship.
I think my
Except plane
assumption
functions.
is that like if the plane
Who's Maya?
crashes, Maya. My assumption is that if the plane crashes, having the windows down is like an extra layer of protection, perhaps. Though it didn't seem to help that flight from India.
Really sad. Did
One
you see that picture of the
survivor.
Indian family with like the 3
Yeah.
kids?
Oh,
Really
so
sad.
He was working in like London or wherever
Touch
for
me,
like
God.
6 years or something. I don't know how long, but he was working there to like be able to like make enough money to move his family from India there. And the flight they were taking was like he was like reuniting his family, and then they died. Life is
See, that's
cruel!
what that's okay. This, and I've been watching a
But
lot
at least they died
I've been watching
together.
a lot of Lucifer, and it's like
Terrible show.
okay, well, suck my ass cheeks. God is not some guy up here. God is the
He's
devil.
down here.
Remember when did you guys ever see The Craft? I should take this off, sorry.
Of course they saw The Craft.
I'm gonna have to shout so I talk on the mic. In The Craft. In The Craft. they're talking about Menel, which is like this primordial god. I love talking about this stuff, and I
know you do.
I really want to go to the University of Amsterdam and study Western esotericism and occult studies and religious studies, because it's so fascinating to me. I want to study Gnosticism. I want to study all of these. I want to study the legions of archangels and demons.
Maybe you could be like one of those people that they
Robert
interview on the
Langdon.
Gaia. What?
Symbologist.
Maybe you could be like Robert Langdon.
On Gaia, yes.
Yeah.
So, what was I saying? Oh, on Lucifer. Yeah, so God's not here. In the craft, they say Menel, who is a made-up god for the script. Menel, he's everything. If God and the devil were playing football on a football field, Menel would be the grass that they play on. It would be the wind that scooches past their face. That is source. God,
source.
God as we know it is just an archon. Well, first, okay, this is actually very important to talk about.
Okay.
You guys, we are actually living in hell. And I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna link Dr. Justin Sledge's video from Esoterica series on the demiurge down below in the description. Because the God that we know of the Judeo-Christian God is actually a demiurge, and the demiurge means like a demonic figure. Okay, and that's a really big bomb to drop. But basically, in the Gnostic texts, which are like these pre-Judaic, ancient mystic, Jewish mysticism texts, they say that the God of the Old Testament, Yahweh, is actually a demiurge who is the spawn of Sophia, which is basically source. So there's such thing called source, which is like everything in the universe, right? That everything comes from. And then source kind of made like, in like a mythological way, it made like all these different archons, which are like gods, right? And then there are like demigods and whatnot. So Sophia was this like goddess source figure of wisdom, and that's what Sophia means. When you think of like sophomore or sophistry, it means wisdom. And Sophia is the divine. She comes from the divine source, but she gave birth to an archon named Yahweh, who is essentially a materialist demon who was a cosmic error. He was not supposed to be born, and he said, I'm gonna create a reality, a physical plane. So he created and this is so important, you guys. He created a matrix, and he obviously is very ill-intended. And why would he create, humanity for us to die or to experience pain? Or why did he send a fucking flood to kill everyone? Why did he ask Abraham, or Isaac or whoever the fuck, go ahead and sacrifice your son for me, get him up on the altar, go ahead and pull down his little panties, go ahead and give him a little blowjob, and I want you to slit his throat.
You told him to give him a blowjob?
No, I'm just embellishing. And Abraham or Isaac or whatever said, okay, I'm gonna do it, I'm ready, I'm pulling on his panties. And then God says, oh, I'm just kidding, that's no gay
that's
shit. No
so
homo,
gross.
no homo, no gay shit like that. Why would a good God do that? So that's why Jesus came, because Jesus carries the divine spark of Sophia, and we all have the divine spark within us, and our personal purposes on this physical plane are to go back to source and live that divine, because this is not all that there is. There are other planes and dimensions and things that are stacked on top of this one that we just don't see, and I firmly believe this. And we are living in a physical manifestation of a hellscape. And that's why so many bad things happen in the world. But it's important to know that source and the divine is not just good. It is not just bad. It is everything.
It's all.
And this is how
Good and bad doesn't
nature,
exist in source.
yes, and divine source is constantly churning out and projecting. It's literally, there's no such thing as like good or bad. There's will, and there are contracts that you make with the universe and with your soul. And sometimes the most horrific things happen for reasons. And I don't know why that family on India Air died, but I'm glad that they did. This is why source made me bald. I'm not glad that they died. It's actually incredibly, incredibly sad. I said that to be funny.
But at
and it
least
wasn't
they
funny.
died together.
But at least they get together, and also it's like it's so hard to
Here's my
explain.
question. Is everything that you're telling me, where does the concept of this come from? Who decided
The
this?
Gnostics.
Okay, who were the Gnostics?
The Gnostics were a group of free thinkers, and I have this essay that I got like halfway through that's actually very, very good that you should read. They were this group of like free thinkers in like Judaic times that basically, when everyone else was like, oh yeah, Yahweh's our God, he's an awesome God, he reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. The Gnostic said, your God's an awesome God? This
Right.
God is an awesome God?
Right.
This God is a demon figure. This God
So this is just a group
wants
of...
you to fear him.
This is basically just a group of people who you could say are
People
kind
who
of
had-
like modern days atheists or agnostics who are just basically saying like, you're telling me this, but it's not making sense, so it's theory.
No, they weren't atheistic or agnostic whatsoever. They believed in all of this because, so many, gospels and things were written out, rewritten, and like the Council of Nicaea, like Mary Magdalene's gospel was written out of the Bible, and Mary Magdalene said, basically, she reiterated a lot of like Gnostic ideals and information that Jesus gave her about like, oh, death isn't real, like heaven and hell aren't real. These are all metaphors, and they're all
Right.
like, it's actually, the Gospel of Mary is like so crazy. Like, it's honestly like, it's a Gnostic text.
And it's hidden under the Vatican.
But this is pre-Jesus. This is, yes, everything's hidden beneath the Vatican. It's crazy. But this is like pre-Jesus. I'm so passionate about these things. The Crucible. And so the Gnostics were like, this is like really fucked up, and we have all of this old ancient like scripture and knowledge and whatever, the people that Jewish mystics were divining and stuff, and it's like, there was, who do you think God was just fell out of a coconut tree? You think God literally just was like, there was black and then there was God, and I decided, no, there was shit that was happening before
what?
before time, before matter.
How can anyone know?
How can anyone know anything?
It's just like everything is made up.
Everything
imaginary.
is made up, but it's like, what do we know is true? If we know that there's like some sort of creative divine plan, then it's like,
Well,
where
how do
does
we
that
know
come
that?
from? Well, we don't. But it's like,
It's all theory.
it's all theory, but it's all vibes too. It's like, well, also it's like, science has proven that our consciousness does not, it leaves the body once we die, but it
Right.
doesn't just disappear. It
Right.
goes somewhere else. And we also know that there are so many there are dimensions like stacked on top of each other. We know that, for instance, that aliens that we think are aliens but are not actually extraterrestrials, they're interdimensional creatures, travel and visit our dimensions and then pop in and out. We have it on video camera.
We do?
Yes, of course. Like Area 51 and shit. But also just like there, it's possible to enter. We know that there are dimensions scientifically. It's possible to think that there are other entities stacked on different dimensions that come in and out, because we have so much anecdotal evidence, we have photographic evidence, we have energetic measuring evidence, and it's like, yeah, there's other shit that we can't explain. There's a Galactic Federation council of all, you know, non-hostile alien species that are
allegedly.
like humans can't join because you guys are too hostile. Well, you know, allegedly, but the president of the Canada's Central Intelligence Agency, basically like their CIA, was a whistleblower and said, yeah, there is a Galactic Federation, and that aliens are here and that they've been here for millennia. It's like this. We are entering a time of spiritual crucialness. We are in a crux. Like, we have to tap in.
It's a renaissance.
It's a renaissance, but we're also living. And you know, I saw this really amazing quote the other day, and I think I sent it to the group, that it was like, we are living in a world of something like prehistoric, something medieval ideas and godlike technology.
What?
We have the technology to be God, but we're still stuck mentally in our
evolutionarily
dark ages.
Yeah.
And it's so scary, but also
our technology is advancing way faster than we're able to
AI and shit. It's just like we're living in a very spiritually void time, but people are waking up, and they have been for so long now.
I'm exhausted. Bing bop boom bop bing bop bing. Type of shit. Understand. You really just did your big one there.
Well, I did, and you know what the next thing on my list is?
How did that conversation happen?
I don't. Does it really matter if the windows are open or closed when the plane takes off?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, my next big one.
You're sad.
You know, I can tell my brain is rotted from amygdala and Lexapro. Besides being not able to put a coherent thought together, the only music I want to listen to now is like tonal, sparkly fairy music, like Who's likes, like Oklao and Ariana Grande.
I don't like Oklao.
Oh, I do. Oh my god, Uklaw's favorite. Her new album.
I
is
don't
my
like
favorite.
airy type of.
Did you listen to Choke Enough?
Is that her album?
Newest one.
I thought she was a new artist.
Please, rate Ben Agger.
I thought she was new. Every time you and Hoos send her music, I'm like, okay, but I'm just like, I don't like this station.
You have to get into Choke Enough.
It's too up here.
Well, maybe that's where
it's like up in the air.
We're all heading.
And I like music that feels more like
down,
grounded.
Right.
But that's just personal preference. In the same way I don't like Ethel Cain's music most of the time.
Right. Unless it's
too much sound, you guys. I want to hear just like I want to hear rawness and emotion in the voice and the vocals.
Right. I'm the product of hundreds of years of inbreeding and also alien contact probing, so I was never meant to be long for this life. I think we've covered that.
I think we all got that right.
Latinas have such gorgeous hair because they're Asian, great bearing straight.
One of your autistic, what is it called? Fascinations or whatever.
The great bearing straight?
Yeah, you're obsessed with like ancestry and like lineage and how like how many different categories, like the Mongoloid.
Well, there's Mongoloids, there's Negroids, and there's Caucasoids. But it's interesting because people who are Latino or like Latinx, they're actually considered Mongolian because they You good, bro? She can't. You sweet for that.
Doesn't that burn your throat?
No.
Oh my god.
Latinos came from Asia over the Great Bering Strait. So Asians came over the Great Bering Strait and they filtered all the way down and beep, 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 bing, bop, boom, bop. Aztec, Mayan, Native American. So like all the people in the Americas are originally, the original people of the Americas are originally from Asia. And that is my theory as to why Latinas have such gorgeous dark hair.
Because they're Asian.
Because they're Asian.
Well, everyone has gorgeous dark hair except for us.
Well, we're not supposed to be here.
We're the only...
Well, also,
we're the
I mean
only
like
race.
gorgeous, like silky, wavy hair.
They can have textured hair.
Yeah, but only if they're Afro-Latinidad.
Really? Latinx
And
don't have...
I'm the authority on that.
Latinx don't have like a coarse cuticle.
Some of them do, but some of them, but it's like they
But
they
don't
evolved
Asian
a
people
little
have
bit.
a finer... Oh, well, that's what you're saying, because they're Asian.
They're Asian.
Asian women are...
Latina.
Right.
Um,
I've always said that.
Why are boys so obsessed with chapstick? Is it the only way they can express their feminine wiles?
Yeah, can
is
you
it their
elaborate on
only
that?
act of self-care?
Where are
Like
you
boy,
seeing
like
that?
I'm just always seeing boys like putting on chapstick and like being obsessed with like chapstick, and also
Really?
like
in the
and
wild
also,
or in
and
your
also like
personal life?
well, I know like black boys are usually obsessed with like licking their lips a lot. Like Ace on Love Island, we'll get to him. But boys are really obsessed with like their lip care, and it's like the
Really?
it's the only thing that men like
It's all they
fag
have.
out
Yeah.
about.
It's all they have.
And I'm like, what does that mean? Like they want something so bad, they want to like put on lipstick, but they're putting on chapstick.
Oh, wow. Because it's human nature to want
Right.
some type of adornment.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or an
But they're like,
expression.
I can't do that unless I'm a bartender in Bushwick.
Right.
And then I can
And
wear
then
pearls.
Carmax. I don't believe Kanye West's net worth is $2 billion. I'm sorry, I just don't.
Oh, absolutely. From what?
Okay, well now I'm gonna read my list of things that I really like. And maybe I'll get into the things that I didn't like, but there's only like 2 or 3 for each one because I've been building up this this list for like a really long time.
Because we haven't recorded in so
Yeah,
long.
but it's been honestly really hard for me to like think of things. But the things that I wrote that I did like are babies that say hi to people first.
Babies that... yeah.
Babies that wave at you or say hi
Nothing will
without
melt
you
your
saying hi
heart
first.
faster.
It's so sweet. It's so
I
pure.
don't know that I've experienced that.
Really, I met at least 2 babies that I'm really.
I would literally kill myself.
Literally so sweet.
That's so sweet.
People, I'm so gay and pretentious. People with critical thinking skills.
What about
Idiots.
them? You like them?
Yeah. It's like, duh.
I'm sure you had a really specific reason.
I was
for
probably
writing that
angry at
down, but that's-
somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have shocker. I've got a big list of things I hate. Number 1, all birds.
What the fuck?
I just like birds.
When are you gonna get over that? Birds are cool.
Birds are so scary to me because they have feathers and they have talons and they have beaks.
Yeah, they can fly.
And
bitch.
I don't like that they can fly because that means that they're
Because you're jealous.
They're
better than
able.
you.
They're able. They can peck at you.
But they
and
would
you can
never
fly
do
away.
that. But they would never do that to you.
Well, I see. The thing is that I'm warming up. Like, where's Tabitha?
They stop. Well, I've seen them a couple times, but Tabitha and her husband have stopped coming by after their
They
baby
were on the end
was.
of the air crash.
Yeah. But there's been some big ass fucking pigeons that have been stopping by, making terrifying
But Tabby
noises.
and her husband are gone.
They're not gone, but they're not.
But they're in mourning
They're
right
not
now.
living.
They're
here
literally
anymore.
mourning doves.
They've probably moved on by now.
Can you imagine the loss?
Yeah. Well, if you guys don't know,
Tell
if you don't follow me on Instagram, basically, I had some mourning doves that were like family to me that live outside my windows. And while we were in Europe, they had a baby, just one. And I came back. And,
Just one baby.
yeah, they usually just lay 1 or 2 eggs. And they had a baby. And then it was really exciting. I bought like bird feed and stuff. And I had a house on the way for them. And then, of course, gardeners had to come to
And what were the gender of
some-
these gardeners?
male.
Right.
XY chromosome. Is that correct? XY?
Yep.
XY chromosomes.
You and me, baby.
And they scared away the baby bird. The baby bird was so terrified that it
They
jumped
killed it.
off the balcony.
To its death.
Lawrence, her video, said that she thinks that it had enough feathers that it could, like, maybe fly. So maybe it just flew away a little earlier than it was meant to, but hopefully it survived.
Tabby
But-
was mourning.
Yes, they came back and they said, "Where's my baby? Oh my god!" They screamed. They screamed.
My baby!
All night. I could hear them. Tabby was over here on the, like, by the window, and then the father was out in the tree somewhere, and they were calling out. They were each taking turns calling out to their baby for like 2 days. Never came back.
Really
And
doubts it. You
since
recorded
then,
a
they
video of
stopped
her
coming.
puffing up in mourning.
Yeah.
That made me so sad.
Yeah.
And you know what? I did like them.
Yeah, they're beautiful birds.
So I think I like some birds, but like some birds just really turn me off.
Well, I just think they're actually, when you really take a moment to look at them, birds are actually so beautiful.
Wow.
And they're also, it's like, I don't know if you get bird videos on TikTok, but like the parrots, they're just like people. Like they,
Well, they're really smart. They remember a lot of words and stuff.
yeah, they can talk to you.
And they live to be really
and
hella
they can
old.
dance. It's like,
And they could dance!
yeah, I would like to have a bird in my life. But I would also
But
like
you know
to
what?
be,
They live forever. They're so stinky.
and they're fucking annoying.
And they're annoying.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah. Except you're gonna die one day.
Your baby's gonna fucking burn.
But we'll get a puppy.
We're
But
gonna
you know-
foster.
You know what I was thinking?
Your
I
baby's
think
gonna fucking burn.
right now, at this time in our lives.
Oh yeah,
you-
we could totally have a puppy.
Well, I think you're actually more capable than I am. Like, you're more stable than I am at this time.
Right.
You have more space. You live
Right.
in Brooklyn.
I've got
You're
mansion in Brooklyn.
regulated. And I'm just like, honey,
Get me out of Get me to Paris.
I don't want to take a fucking dog out to shit and piss.
We could get a dog together. Split custody.
Yeah, but it's gonna be mostly yours. That's the rule that I am.
I have to take the lead.
You have to, because it will become my dog otherwise. Because we've done this before.
Well, it's like, but now we're life partners, so it's like, and
we were life partners before.
Yeah, but we can. Here, okay, if we ever get a dog, do you guys see how she's ready and willing to just...
I do really want
because
one.
we love each other, that she's ready to agree with whatever I say. If we
No.
ever got a dog again, we would never rehome it, and we would just keep it.
Yeah. Well, life happened.
But-
It's like when we got Norm and Charlie, did we think we were going to do that?
No.
Of course not.
But you know what? We're gonna start up by fostering dogs.
Yeah.
And I'm already on it.
Yeah.
Another thing I don't like, shocking my hands on door handles from static electricity.
I
What
hate
gives?
that. That doesn't happen to me.
Ow!
That's not
You know
something
what
that
is so
happens to me.
crazy? Not a door handle, but I told you this.
What?
Okay.
What?
So we joined like the wellness space thing. And
Right.
there's this boy that works there, and he
Right.
is the guy who's in charge of like all the like exercise tests, and like you have a consultation with him where he like builds out a health plan for you. And we've been like low-key flirting, and like
What does your flirting look like? Not your flirting as a person, I know what that looks like, but between the two of you.
Oh. Well, the first time, okay. The first time that we met, literally, it was just a consultation. And he was like asking me all these questions, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, we just had like a kind of like a friendly rapport or whatever. And then I said goodbye to him, and he was just like, he was looking in my eyes like this. He was like, where's the camera?
He was giving you that
He's
look.
like, it was really nice to meet you. And I was like,
You could just tell.
I
you
could
know?
just tell. I
It's
could
in
just
the
tell.
eyes,
And then you
yeah.
know what? I went again for like a stress test or whatever, like an exercise test. And okay, first of all, when I did my like chronological age stuff, I'm actually way younger than my biological age or whatever,
God.
which is crazy.
You can relax.
And
a
like,
little.
and I was like, oh, I was telling him like, oh, I'm kind of retarded. Like, I need to like do the memory test and the ADHD kind of memory test.
yeah?
And I scored really, really well. And
Really?
he was like, you're scoring better. And on my mobility and like on so many, on all the tests, he was like, you're scoring higher than I've ever seen anyone score.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm a genius and I'm I am a god. And so like that was kind of cool, and then like we'd like laugh and stuff, and I like, and he like
You're
helped
scoring
me.
so high.
He like put like this mask on my head, and I like helped him like take it off, and I touched his hand, and like I touched his chest.
You touched his chest?
Yeah, like you know, like, you're so funny.
You're being a whore.
I was being a whore because I really like him. He's so cute.
Jason.
Yes, literally, we'll call him Jason. I was like, you're so cute, like whatever. And then he's like, when I was like doing like, I was wearing like this Bane mask, right? And I was like on the cycle, and he's like, do you have any songs that you want to put on? And I was like, can you put on can you put on You Won't Take Up by Azealia Banks? He's like, oh yeah, I love that one. I was like, you know that song? He's like, yeah, I have a really good house remix of this. I was like, oh, you should send it to me. And then I was like, any other ones? And I was like, and I was looking, and there was like that one Spotify playlist that's like cunty music or whatever, cunty house music, and it was like Patrick with his nails like this and the big lips, like.
I love that.
And he was like, oh, that's so funny. Yeah, let's put that on. And then he was like, this is good. And I was like, oh, you're so cute.
Every time they ask me if I want to put on a song, I'm like, can you put on Punished by
Can you put on Vacillator?
Whatever's wrong with me.
So we're pumping it. And then like we do my whole health assessment, whatever. And then we go upstairs and we're just like kind of like talking like at the front desk and like talking about like health and stuff and whatever.
Oh, wow.
And then I was like, and then I was like, I was like, give me a hug. And
you
like
do
we
be
gave each
giving
other
hugs
hugs.
out lately.
And I just felt like his hard body just like press against mine, like, and you know how I can tell he's like, he used to be fat, but you know.
Really?
Like, well, here's how I can tell.
Can you tell that when you hug me?
No, I can tell when a
Really?
boy used to be fat because he wears like a really big thick t-shirt over a thin t-shirt
To compress it.
to compress and to like hide his body, even though I can
Loose
tell
skin.
that I can tell that this guy has the most beautiful like I can tell he's just shaped out from alabaster underneath.
Yeah.
And so I like gave him a hug, and then he emailed me and he was like, it's really been a pleasure working with you and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, well, because he had to reschedule our appointment. I was like, okay. And then I was like, can we schedule for this day? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I'm so excited he said, excited to see you soon. Smiley face.
Okay. Okay. So, I read that email and I didn't.
Okay, but I need you to know that we're flirting.
Okay. I believe you. I want to believe you, I will say.
You're such a fucking bitch.
Well, everything you just said to me was more just like you flirting with him.
Well, the way he looks at me with his amber eyes.
It's in the eyes.
It's just like, you're my long lost love.
I believe you.
Like, he is so cute.
You know, I'm
like,
only ever skeptical because sometimes you just, you know.
I'm actually very shy and I don't hit on guys unless I'm getting a sign, and I'm getting a sign. So
Okay.
I'm gonna show up.
You guys would be a really hot couple.
Yeah, well, he's
really cute.
and you know what? He's so tall.
Yeah.
He was like, he put my height in on like the machine that measures my biological age. I was like 6'1". I was like, excuse me, I'm 5'11". He was like, oh, sorry, I got the numbers wrong. And I was like, how tall are you? He was like, I'm 6'4". I was like, oh, that's my dad's height.
It's perfect height. That's my fucking dad's height.
You're my fucking dad.
That's really funny that's what he said.
Another
My
thing I
dad's
hate.
6'4".
I always, whenever a guy tells me that he's 6'4", and I think that's how tall my dad is. Another thing I hate, having to check a carry-on bag because a flight is overbooked. Eat my ass.
You know, I
Eat my
don't
ass.
mind checking a bag that much.
If I have to check my carry-on bag, I'm pissed because I brought a carry-on bag, so I didn't have to check a bag. I don't want to wait. I don't want to have all my shit
you mean
fucked up.
when you go to your gate
the flight
and they
is
take
overbooked
it?
and they take your fucking carry-on and
Would
they
they-
check it.
Don't they just take it out when you're getting
I
off
don't
the
want to
plane?
let it out my sight. What if I put 5,000 dildos in there for me to use in the airport bathroom? In the airplane bathroom.
I don't usually have this issue.
Well, you're a bitch.
Sometimes I kind of like checking a bag because don't you think it's easier than
You can tell I
getting
write all
all
these
this
on the
travel
airplanes
bullshit.
because my next one's turbulence.
You were really pissed off when you were traveling. Yeah.
I was. Female Uber drivers who don't help you load your luggage into the trunk at the airport because they're
Nor should they.
Just because they're women.
But they shouldn't be Uber drivers.
No.
I don't want female Uber drivers.
The
Sorry,
second I
said
get an female Uber driver, cancel.
a lot of women, you know, that you can set your settings to only have female drivers.
Did you know that you can also call Uber and let them know that you don't want
Teslas?
Yes, for black
The thing
card.
is, we see
We
the
have the
same
same
TikToks.
algorithm. You play my
Everything-
babysitter right now.
everything that you sent me yesterday. I was like, oh, I saw all this.
You play my babysitter.
I always do.
The next one is paying resort fees for services I'm not going to use at the hotel.
Resort fees are not real.
Excuse
It's
me.
just a tax.
Right.
Just a tax.
It's just a gay tax. Oh my god. It's just a gay person tax.
What's
Oh
that?
yeah, let's get into what you're gonna talk about.
What I'm gonna. Oh.
My back hurts. Things to talk about.
Let me see what I wrote. I may have already. I'm gonna become a mukbanger.
There's literally so much to talk about. I just can't even remember.
Oh. Here's what I will say. Where the fuck is Lana? You can't do that. I know that she's like always done this, but I feel like not to this extent. Do you know that she's going on tour? Like
Within what set list?
exactly. Does that mean we're just not getting an
She
album?
went on a tour through Walmart parking lots in Alabama.
Yeah. Well, she always does smaller tours, I guess. But
But it's like,
I need the album to come out before we go to Mexico.
right. Well, the album was supposed to be out in June or something.
It was
right?
supposed to be out last September, and then
And then
last year got
June,
canceled,
right.
and then it became The Right One Will Stay, which was supposed to come out May 21st, and
Right.
that got canceled, and the name has also been changed.
And now the name's changed again.
And now it's
it's indefinite.
it's the end of June, honey.
End of June.
No, we're in the end of June.
Oh, yeah,
And
it's
there's
like-
no word.
Please.
It's really
She's really pissing me off.
She's really pissing me off. And you know what? I liked her better when she was fat. You know? Something's changed. She's kind of pissing me off lately.
Within her.
And I liked her when she's all fat and happy.
Fat and sassy, eating
Yeah.
her bread.
I had other things on there, but it's like, whatever.
Well, let me check and see if they're worth talking about.
No, because
Ex-coworker saw my porn.
Yeah, that
Pretty
did
sure that's
happen.
worth talking about.
someone-
Client paying me to blink.
Yeah, that we don't need to talk about
Okay.
because that's just like whatever, another day. This is actually important for me to tell you so you can change this on your own Instagram settings because an ex-coworker of mine from when I worked at Shinola messaged me and was like, I just saw this account with your pictures and I was like, who is Charlotte? Oh my god, someone is stealing Jordan's pictures. And then I looked and I was like, oh, yeah, literally it's like
On Instagram?
not my cock, but it's like, yeah, my cock.
Oh.
It's like the last picture that I posted on my work Instagram. I'm wearing my sheer slip there. I'm not wearing underwear. So it's like you can see
Your
my
cock.
You can see my cock.
And your friend saw your cock. Your
Yeah,
coworker.
my ex-coworker. And it's like, yeah, it's like softcore porn in the same way that like gay men post on Instagram. Like
Spread hole.
it's basically porn, you know. And then I realized, oh, all of my contacts in my phone are being recommended my work Instagram.
Because of your phone number.
Yeah, but I use a different phone number, but it's all
That don't matter. It's on your phone.
yeah.
That's great.
So you have to go into your settings and unsync your contacts.
You know what? I never do sync my contacts.
I double check, babe. Double check, because when I asked the internet about this, they said, yeah, you do that, but guess what? You don't just do it once because every like 6 months or something, your phone resyncs. So now I'm realizing so many people from my real life have probably
Seen your cock.
they're probably, because of course it's like, if I saw someone I knew, it's like, yeah, I'm going to
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna see that person.
And then I'm
sneaky
gonna
link.
click on the Twitter link, and I'm gonna, it's like, and I'm doing porn, y'all. Like,
And you
my
guys-
ex-coworker.
And you guys don't go looking for it. It's not worth seeing. It's
If you want to see it, that's none of my fucking
It's
business.
your prerogative.
But, like, don't be a weirdo, you know?
And don't tell me about it.
Yeah, don't tell me. Well, I'm kind
Mm.
of glad she did tell me, but
It was a she.
yeah. If it were a guy, I'd be like, did you like it?
Pal?
I would like for all my male ex-coworkers to see it, personally, because I'm an exhibitionist. in
I've
that
seen
way.
her cock a lot.
I've seen your cock a lot.
We had a threesome in Rome.
Oh my god, yeah. There's so much that we didn't talk about.
I
We didn't
know.
have a full threesome, by the way.
No. He sucked her
We
dick
had
and
an
he
oral
sucked my dick
threesome,
and I
and you and
saw
I
her
didn't touch
dick.
each other.
We had an oral threesome and we didn't touch each other at all. And every time he would suck her dick and I saw her dick, I go.
She was making it.
And I
weird.
made it really weird, like Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, because she's going.
Because it was weird. And then I
Yeah,
took
but
him
you
to
have to
Countdown.
pretend. You have to pretend.
And we don't do this stuff. This is like once every like 5 years, guys.
No, they all want us to.
Yeah.
It was every man's dream. But I mean, Europe. Only when I'm in fucking Rome.
When we're in Europe, all the bets are off.
Yeah. I forced myself to be sexual in Europe, though. I'm not a sexual person anymore.
Well, I had a lot of bad sex in Europe.
Yeah.
I didn't. You know what? It's
I only
crazy.
had one.
I
good
didn't
sex.
come one time in Europe, except when I masturbated
What
when
is
you
your
were
problem?
out having a Campari.
Why can't you come anymore?
Can't you come anymore?
What's
Because
your
I
problem?
need someone who loves me,
Ugh.
or I need a guy to put his foot in my mouth.
Get over that. You can't just jerk off and freaking come.
I mean, I can, but I can't come with another person. It's actually really sad.
Yeah, that is sad. I
But-
can, luckily.
You know,
Do it for my job.
I'm just growing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like to for clients because it's like you've stolen my chi.
Yeah, well, that's the whole reason they come to see me.
You've stolen my chi, my life force, and it's like now I can't do anything.
Do
the
you
rest
tell
of the
them,
day.
though? You just say, like,
I
I'm
usually
going
say
to?
like, oh, I probably can't today, or like, oh, I already did earlier today with someone else, and I say, oh, whatever, sorry. It's like the thing is that men are okay with it. You just have to give them what they think is a viable excuse.
Well, I have clients, like regulars, who will only see me if I will come.
And that's a sickness.
Yeah. I want out.
This was a really great episode. Thank you guys.
How long did we
Love
record?
you.
Oh wow, yeah, enjoy that. You
Enjoy that.
sick fuckers.
Suck on that.
See you whenever the fuck we feel like it.
See you in hell.
Can't say that.
Well, yeah, I can because I'm going to see them on this plane and we are in hell.
Well, okay. Okay, bye.
Bye.